Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here, and in today's video, we're going to be talking through some player props I like on Prizepicks for today's MLB slate on Saturday, August the 16th. We got a full slate of Saturday games, and I've got some early player props I like for this slate. Taking a first look at the board on Friday night, I've got 3 early plays that I like. We're going to break down these 3 plays, and we're going to share why I like them. Now, before we do get started, guys, make sure you hit that like button down below if you enjoyed these Prizepicks videos. Make sure to hit that subscribe button as well. And if you guys are new to the channel and if you are new to Prizepicks, if you don't have a Prizepicks account, make sure that you go sign up. Use that promo code NOAH when you do sign up for Prizepicks with my promo code. Play $5. You're going to get $50 worth of free lineups instantly added to your account. Use the free lineups that Prizepicks gives you to your advantage. Hopefully you'll win some money off those lineups and you can start to build up your bankroll over on Prizepicks. But again, if you don't have an account over there, use that code NOAH when you do sign up. And then I do also want to shout out Sleeper. We do have a partnership with Sleeper as well. You guys can go sign up for Sleeper. Use promo code NOAH over on Sleeper. You'll get your first deposit matched up to $100. So whatever you put in on that first deposit, Sleeper will match it up to $100. You put in $100, they'll give you an additional $100 to play with. So now you got a $200 bankroll to work with. You can try and build that bankroll up over on Sleeper. But if you guys don't know what Sleeper is, they're a DFS pick'em app similar to Prizepicks, similar to all the other pick'em apps that you see around the industry. You just pick more or less on player projections. You build out your lineup. You can do up to an 8-pick lineup on Sleeper. You can mix and match sports, and you can win up to 100x your money. So check them out, guys. And again, if you don't have an account over on Sleeper, sign up. Use that promo code NOAH so that way you get that deposit bonus up to $100. But let's go ahead and talk about some plays that I like for today on Saturday. Now, I do want to recap our plays from Friday's video before we go over our plays for today. So we gave out 3 picks on Friday. One of them was a DMP. We gave out a prop on Jeremy Pena, and he wasn't in the lineup Friday night. But the other 2 plays that we gave out, unfortunately, both missed. We gave out Jose Altuve. We stacked him with Jeremy Pena, but we gave out Altuve over 6.5 fantasy score. Altuve went 0 for 4. The Astros scored 0 runs. And Brandon Young, he nearly threw a perfect game. I think he had a perfect game going through like almost 8 innings. Go figure. Like Brandon Young's been terrible this season, and he damn near throws a perfect game against the Astros. Like that's just how baseball goes sometimes. But yeah, the Astros stack that we did unfortunately did not work out. And then we also took Noah Cameron over 4.5 strikeouts, which is a prop that I felt really good about. Cameron pitched a decent game, but just wasn't able to get any strikeouts. I think he went 5 1/3. Only had 2 Ks, so that was a tough one. Felt good about that play. Got some good CLV on that prop too. I saw that Cameron was favored like minus 150, minus 160 to go over 4.5 Ks. Prizepicks bumped his line up to 5. Like the value that we got on that play, but it just didn't work out, and that's just how it goes sometimes. But we're gonna get back out of here for Saturday, guys, and I've got some plays I like for this slate on Saturday. Now, I do want to say that we do have some early games today. Typically on Saturdays, there's going to be early games. We have some games at 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock Eastern time. And a couple plays I'm going to give out today are from the early games. So recording this video on Friday night, hopefully by the time you're watching this video, you'll be able to get these plays in. But we're going to look at 3 hitter fantasy scores for today. The first 2 hitter fantasy scores that we're going to take a look at are going to be from the same team. So we're going to look at a stack here, a 2-man stack. I've been loving the fantasy score stacks with hitters. You can stack hitters on the same team on Prizepicks and still get a decent payout. Normally, a 3-pick lineup, a 3-pick power on Prizepicks pays out 6x. When you take 2 hitters on the same team, there's correlation there, and Prizepicks knows that, so they kind of lower the payout a little bit. But the payout isn't lowered by much. It's only 0.25, so you still get 5.75x, which I still think is really good value. So looking at the 2 hitter fantasy scores I like, we're going to take Alex Bregman and Trevor Story, both of them over their hitter fantasy score. And if you're someone that's kind of wondering, why would you take multiple players on the same team? Well, there's correlation there because, let's say Alex Bregman gets on base and then Trevor Story, has a single or a double and drives him in. Well, when you're talking about fantasy score, you would get points for both players because Bregman scoring a run would give you points. Story getting a hit, getting an RBI would give you points. So there's always correlation, taking hitters on the same team. When hitters, or when teams go out there and score like 7, 8 runs, which happens a lot, when teams score that many runs, typically a lot of their hitters are going to go over their lines, whatever it may be, their total bases, their hits, runs, RBIs, and fantasy score obviously is a projection that they could go over as well. And the reason I like fantasy score so much is just because it does kind of account for everything. You get points for walks, hits, RBIs, runs, stolen bases, everything. If a guy gets on base and he steals bases, you get fantasy points for that. So there's just a lot of ways that your hitter can get fantasy points. And I think this is a really good spot for the Red Sox to be able to put up some runs today. They're going to be facing Cal Quantrill, who has been pretty bad this season. Quantrill, if you look at where he ranks in terms of his expected ERA, has a 5.29 expected ERA, which ranks in the 11th percentile. His expected batting average is 286, which ranks in the 9th percentile. So he's bottom 11% in the league in expected ERA. He's bottom 9% in the league in expected batting average. He's a pitcher with very little strikeout stuff, has a very low strikeout rate, 17.8%. And if you're going to be pitching in Fenway Park, a really good hitter's ballpark, you're going to need to be able to get strikeouts, because if guys are putting the ball in play in Fenway Park, that's typically going to mean hits, runs, teams doing damage. And Quantrill, again, very low K guy, so I think this is a spot where the Red Sox are going to have the opportunity to put a lot of balls in play against Cal Quantrill. And if you look at Cal Quantrill's splits this year, Quantrill has been a major reverse splits pitcher. So what that means, Quantrill is a right-handed pitcher. Typically, right-handed pitchers struggle more against lefties, left-handed hitters, but it's actually the reverse for Quantrill. Quantrill's better against lefties. He's really bad against righties. If you look at what righties have done against Quantrill this year, 335 average, 376 on base percentage, 597 slug. If you look at what he's allowed to lefties, only a 198 average, 266 on base percentage, 319 slug. So that's just a night and day difference when it comes to his splits versus lefties compared to righties. So I think the righties definitely set up in a better spot here. Not saying, guys like Jarren Duran, Roman Anthony, those guys can still have good games, obviously. But looking at Quantrill's splits this year, Quantrill has definitely been more giving to right-handed hitters, and right-handed hitters have had a lot more success against him. And these two guys, Alex Bregman, Trevor Story, are both guys that have hit right-handed pitching fairly well this season. I know Story's been better against left-handed pitching, but he still has decent numbers against right-handed pitching. Been playing well as lately too. Pushed or gone over this line in 3 straight games. Had 13 fantasy points in their game on Friday night. Bregman also been relatively consistent, for what it's worth, over this line in 3 of his last 4 games. Did go over in their game on Friday night. Just think both of these hitters set up in a really good spot here, in a good hitter's ballpark, facing a pitcher that has really struggled against right-handed hitters this season. And also, another thing that I like to look at, the pitch mix that the pitcher throws. Quantrill uses a lot of different pitches. He actually throws like 6 different pitches, but his primary pitch is his cutter. He's throwing his cutter about 22% of the time. And this season, both Alex Bregman and Trevor Story have relatively good numbers against cutters. Bregman this year against cutters has, a 296 average, 481 slug. And then Trevor Story versus cutters has a 381 average, 429 slug. So, that's another thing that I like to see. Both these guys have hit the pitches, the main pitch that Cal Quantrill throws. Both these guys have hit that pitch well. So there's just a lot of boxes we can check in this spot for these two hitters. Like them over their fantasy score lines: 6.5 for Bregman, 7 for Trevor Story. And then the other prop that I like, another hitter fantasy score. We're going to look at Gunnar Henderson, 6.5 hitter fantasy score, and I also like the over here. So more than 6.5 hitter fantasy score on Gunnar Henderson. Now, Gunnar Henderson been pretty good as of late, as you can see, gone over this fantasy score line in 4 of his last 5 games for what it's worth. So he's been kind of heating up a little bit, been getting on base. He's a guy that does offer upside just because he can steal bases. I think this season he has I want to say almost 20 stolen bases. He honestly might have more than that. I'm going to take a look at that real quick. So this year, Gunnar Henderson has stolen, he's stolen 16 bases this year. A guy that can get on base, can steal bases, also has a lot of power, 14 home runs on the season. And I like this matchup for him against Jason Alexander. Now, Jason Alexander has not made, he's not pitched a lot this year. I think he's only made 4 or 5 starts, I believe. I'm going to take a look at that real quick. Alexander, he's only made 4 starts this year. He was mainly pitching out of the bullpen to begin the season. He was only pitching an inning or 2, and then they started to use him as a starter. And over his last 5 or 6 outings, he's been used as a starter. He has pitched well in his last 2 starts, but I think this is definitely a pitcher that could be due for some negative regression. Because if you look this season, Jason Alexander, he's got a 4.49 expected ERA. His actual ERA is just over 5.02. But he's given up a lot of hard hits. He's got a 48.3% hard hit percentage. So guys are barreling up the ball against Alexander. They're making a lot of hard contact. Gunnar Henderson is a guy that makes a lot of hard contact. This year, 52.2% hard hit percentage, which ranks in the 93rd percentile. So I love seeing a pitcher that gives up a lot of hard contact facing a hitter who makes a lot of hard contact. And also, if you look at Jason Alexander's splits, Alexander has been worse against lefties this year, giving up a 253 average to lefties, 344 on base percentage, 470 slug. Lefties have definitely hit for more power against Alexander. If you look, he's given up about 1.25 home runs per 9 to lefties. Also a guy that has little strikeout stuff. He's a low K pitcher, only has a 17.3% strikeout rate. So this is definitely another spot where I think we're going to see the Orioles be able to put a lot of balls in play against Alexander. And I think Alexander is a guy that definitely is due for a little bit of negative regression. I know he's had some good starts lately. Pitched a shutout against the Yankees, pitched a shutout against the Marlins. But he gave up 5 runs to the Athletics, gave up 5 hits, 2 runs, and 4 2/3 against the Nationals. He's definitely not been pitching, as well as it might seem the last few starts. I know his last 2 starts he's looked really good, but I definitely think there's some negative regression coming. I think he's kind of due for a bad start, and it could definitely come against this Orioles team that does hit right-handed pitching fairly well. This Orioles team also has a lot of lefties that hit right-handed pitching well. Gunnar, Jackson Holliday, Adley Rutschman, those guys. So I think it's a good spot for Gunnar Henderson. I like him for more than 6.5 hitter fantasy score. So these are the 3 props, guys, that we're going to roll with for today's slate on Saturday. Again, it's a slate full of games. We got some early games. We got some night games. I'm making this video the night before, so hopefully by the time you're watching this video, you'll be able to get these plays in, and none of these games will have started yet. But we did have a great day on Friday. Unfortunately, went 0-2 on our plays on Friday, but hopefully we can bounce back here, go 3-0 on these 3 plays for Saturday. But again, guys, appreciate you watching, man. Appreciate your support on these Prizepicks videos. Make sure to hit that like button down below. Make sure to hit that subscribe button as well. And if you guys are new to the channel, if you are new to Prizepicks, if you don't have a Prizepicks account, make sure that you go sign up. Use that promo code NOAH when you do sign up for Prizepicks with my promo code. Play $5. You're going to get $50 instantly in free lineups added to your account. So definitely check out Prizepicks if you have not yet. But good luck, guys. Let's win some money tonight, and I will see you guys in the next video.